just ahead on CTV News.
Governor Wes Moore signs a number of bills into law today. I'm Katara Jones in Annapolis. I'll tell you which bills were signed coming up on CTV News.
Plus, police investigating a deadly shooting in Lanham Monday night. And a retired firefighter charged with rape and child abuse. Those stories and more on CTV News, starting now.
For May 20th, I'm Michaela Newton.
And I'm Marquette Shepard. Thanks for joining us. Maryland lawmakers face countless challenges this legislative session, but through it all, they united in getting the state's budget passed and important priorities met.
That's right. Today, Governor Wes Moore, along with Lieutenant Governor Aruna Miller, House Speaker Adrian Jones, and Senate President Bill Ferguson all gathered at the State House to sign the state's budget bill, as well as other bills. CTV's Katara Jones is in Annapolis with more.
After a tough legislative session, which included a $3.3 billion deficit, Governor Wes Moore finally signs the state's balanced budget into law.
We were not in the same place on January 8th when session started as we were once we hit sine die.
The budget, which Moore calls responsible and balanced, includes $200 billion in cuts, reserving 8% in the state's rainy day fund, and the creation of 2 new tax brackets for high-income earners, among others.
This was not just about balancing a budget. It was about weathering 2 very distinct and individual storms: a financial crisis and a fiscal crisis, and a new White House that is determined to attack our economy.
I think it's important to remind folks where we were, taking a $3.3 billion deficit and turning it into what ended up being a $2.4 billion cash reserve and surplus. Thank you to the Secretary and for all of the members of the General Assembly who worked together.
Another bill that was signed was Senate Bill 357 that will expand the authority of the state's Prescription Drug Affordability Board. A bill that was not signed and vetoed was Senate Bill 587, which would have established the Maryland Reparations Commission. Advocates for reparations here in Maryland voiced their frustration over Moore's action.
Governor Wes Moore, your veto of Senate Bill 587 is unacceptable, and you must reverse, and the legislature must override your veto, or there's going to be a problem with your constituents in this state.
This was the governor's 5th and final bill signing of 2025. Katara Jones, CTV News.
And another shooting in the county leaves 1 man dead and another in critical condition.
CTV's Mariah Gillette is in Lanham, where it all happened Monday evening.
Police are still trying to piece together what happened at this strip mall Monday night before 33-year-old Cameron Smith was shot and killed. Prince George's police say around 8:20 last night, officers responded to a report of a shooting here at the 9300 block of Lanham Severn Road. That's where they found Smith suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. He was transported to a hospital and died a short time later. A second victim was also shot, another adult male, but he remains in critical but stable condition. Now, PGPD says detectives are still investigating a motive in this case and trying to find a suspect or suspects. But they do say at this time they don't believe this was a random crime. From Lanham, Mariah Gillette, CTV News.
All right, Mariah, thanks so much for that report. A reward of up to $25,000 is being offered for information leading to an arrest and indictment in this case.
Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Solvers at 1-866-411-TIPS. A retired Prince George's County firefighter has been charged with sexually assaulting a junior firefighter in the 90s. PGPD says the suspect is 61-year-old John Inman of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. He retired from the fire department in 2017. Police say back in July of 2024, they were made aware of the allegations against Inman. A then junior firefighter said he was 13 years old when he met then 27-year-old Inman and claims Inman abused him until the age of 17. Court documents say the abuse happened at the Hyattsville Fire Station, Inman's home, and classrooms on the University of Maryland campus.
He's charged with second-degree rape, abuse by a custodian, second-degree assault, and perverted practice.
He's being held on house arrest until a preliminary hearing on June 17th. Police say there could be more victims and are urging anyone who may have been affected to come forward.
Meanwhile, a brutal accident in Brandywine turned deadly Saturday evening. The crash happened at the intersection of Dyson Road and Missouri Avenue. Officers arrived at the scene shortly before 6:30 p.m. and found an ATV rider and passenger suffering critical injuries. The driver, now identified as 35-year-old Jose Castro of Virginia, was pronounced dead at the hospital. The passenger remains hospitalized in serious condition. An investigation shows the ATV collided with the side of a pickup truck and trailer.
The Maryland Car Rally Task Force had their hands full on Sunday, dismantling 3 large-scale events throughout the county. Law enforcement began dismantling events at 2 p.m. with 2 events in Laurel and 1 in Upper Marlboro and crowds of up to 300 people. Police charged and arrested Kendall Grace of Bowie, who already had 2 outstanding warrants with theft of a motor vehicle. They also arrested Pierre Lee, who had an active warrant for first-degree robbery, and a 17-year-old charged for operating an unregistered vehicle. And a not guilty first-degree murder verdict was handed down to one of the men charged in the shooting death of 2-year-old Jeremy Pou Carceres. Last February, Johnny Tercios opened fire at a group of men in Langley Park, unintentionally killing Jeremy and shooting his mother, Rosa. The jury did not agree with the prosecution's argument that although Jeremy was not the intended target, Tercios was still responsible for his murder. Although Tercios did not fire the round which killed Jeremy, Rosa stated there's no justice for Jeremy following yesterday's verdict.
And when it comes to supporting moms' mental health, Maryland is doing okay, but there's room to grow. A new report card on maternal mental health gives Maryland a C grade, just a notch above the national average of C-. The 2025 Maternal Mental Health State Report Card came out Thursday, and while Maryland's holding steady, 26 other states improved their scores over the past year. Now, researchers say Maryland has a strong foundation, but more screening and support services could really make a difference. And Maryland Attorney General Anthony Brown, is announcing efforts to step up fair housing enforcement as federal government diminishes civil rights enforcement. According to the Attorney General, an investigation into housing discrimination disproportionately affected people of color. He says it directly reflects the racial disparities documented within our criminal legal system, where in Maryland, Black people face higher rates of arrest, prosecution, and conviction than white Marylanders for similar behavior.
I am pleased to announce that our Civil Rights Division, in partnership, has secured a settlement with American Management over its discriminatory rental application practices that automatically rejected applicants with felony convictions. American Management's policy created a significant barrier to housing for people with criminal records. It applied regardless of the applicant's current circumstances or the age and nature of their convictions.
You're watching CTV News. I'm Marquette Shepard.
And I'm Michaela Newton. Still to come.
A local church is hosting a job fair for hundreds of county residents looking to fill available positions. I'm Bryce Parker. We'll have that story and more coming up on CTV News.
Okay, Dad, look at you.
I look nice, don't I?
I see you.
Yeah.
Adding your own flavor to fashion comes with age.
Oh, man, that's the best one yet.
Forgetting how to add doesn't. Finding it difficult to work with numbers may be a sign of Alzheimer's.
Dad, are you okay?
An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one.
High school.
Hey, Dad. Do you want to talk about what happened earlier?
Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's. Some things come with age. Some others don't.
Love is a lesson that doesn't end. It knows no conditions, so you better buckle in. Love keeps you on your toes. It never stops, only grows. Love isn't easy, it's a commitment, especially when they're being their most resistant. Love is finding the right seat so you can take a breath. But remember, love isn't lax, it always double checks. Check that your kids are in the right seat at NHTSA.gov/the right seat.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. Innovating to prepare students for our fast-changing world. They're skilled experts, discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, leading by example. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org.
We now have new details into the fatal shooting in Fort Washington early Monday morning. The victim has been identified as 21-year-old Cornelius Wilson of Glenarden. Around 12:20 a.m., officers responded to a shooting on the 2800 block of Wood Hollow Terrace. They found Wilson suffering from gunshot wounds, and he was pronounced dead on the scene. Detectives are still working to determine a motive and identify a suspect. A reward of up to $25,000 is being offered for information leading to an arrest in this case.
And a Washington, D.C. man is sentenced to 33 years in prison for a string of armed robberies here in Prince George's. 68-year-old William Hill and a co-conspirator were convicted by a jury in July of 2019 for 2 armed robberies in Clinton and Seat Pleasant in November of 2016. The first robbery was at an auto repair shop and ended with a victim being shot and paralyzed. The second robbery was at a barber shop, and police were able to find and arrest the suspects.
Well, many Prince Georgians are still struggling to find employment in today's tough job market.
That's why Shabbat Ministries and First Baptist Church of Glenarden have partnered to host a career and opportunity fair. CTV's Bryce Parker has more.
Today, dozens of companies from the state and the county got a chance to talk to hundreds of job seekers in Prince George's County, hoping to fill available job positions.
I did make a connection, and that's all it takes is one relationship that can be transformational. So for me, that was worth the while.
Here at First Baptist Church of Glenarden, Shabbat Ministries brought together a wide range of companies from medicine to public safety, hoping to fill the need for Prince Georgians who are seeking employment.
The marketing for this really helped to have people come and present themselves in a way that actually job seekers could find something that is beneficial to them. I also received a lot of information. I was able to submit my resume to a few employers, and that's something that I have not been exposed to at previous job fairs.
The fair featured an array of opportunities for job seekers, no matter their age or experience level.
We have entry level, we have something for our college graduates, we have something for our people with master's degrees, something for people who want to change careers later in their life.
And attendees got the chance to benefit from the advantages of meeting their employers face to face.
I always recommend people coming in person and engaging and trying to make that, face-to-face connection when it comes to getting a job.
Something Jamila Gaston, a former federal employee, said that she valued as she continues to find a new place to land in her career.
The young lady actually pulled my resume out of 900 and sent it to the hiring manager, so I thought that was extremely beneficial and efficient in her service.
In Glenarden, I'm Bryce Parker, CTV News.
In total, 29 companies were in attendance today. Well, some universities and colleges in Maryland could be freezing their hiring and leaving open positions vacant as they grapple with more than $100 million in state funding cuts. A resolution approved by the University System of Maryland Board of Regents would allow the presidents in the system to assess cost savings. That could include furloughs, reductions in salary, or even the closing of schools for a certain number of days. Some universities have already begun eliminating vacant positions as they prepare for a 7% budget reduction in fiscal year 2026.
And we've got a change in plans for the Terps. The University of Maryland is moving its big commencement ceremony to Thursday, all because of some soggy weather headed our way. University officials say while Wednesday's forecast calls for heavy rain, the individual school and college ceremonies will go on as scheduled. But the main event, that's been bumped to Thursday at 6 p.m. to keep everyone safe and dry. Now, here's the fun part. This year's commencement speaker is none other than Kermit the Frog. Yep, the iconic Muppet will be on stage celebrating the class of 2025.
And just ahead of Memorial Day weekend, Montgomery County leaders are introducing legislation to combat for-profit, unlicensed parties in neighborhoods. 2 county council members introduced Bill 1325, which prohibits any for-profit, unlicensed parties that are open to the public. The violations include unpermitted commercial parties, noise violations, and unpermitted commercial use in a residential zone, and violations of recreation and entertainment use zoning. It would increase the maximum fine from $500 to $5,000.
Also in Montgomery County, a unique initiative is helping bridge the gap between law enforcement and the Hispanic community. The Hispanic Academy for the Community offers a 14-week educational program aimed at building trust and mutual understanding. Launched in 2016, the program educates participants on topics ranging from gang activity to fraud prevention, while also fostering direct engagement with local police officers. Hispanic residents make up over 20% of Montgomery County's population.
We understand that many of them come from countries where they fear the police, and it is important for us to address those fears and let them know that we're here to help them, that we're here to provide them with resources, because at the end of the day, we understand that we need their help to solve crime and deter crime in order to serve them better.
The Academy holds 3 sessions annually. The current class includes around 40 participants, with the next session set to begin on September 3rd. And still to come on CTV News.
A giant retailer has unveiled a new Buy Now, Pay Later program.
After the break, find out how you can take advantage. We'll be right back.
We are women first, but women with disabilities last.
During a military exercise, we crashed and I broke my neck.
When I was in the Air Force, an accident changed my life. I couldn't have imagined the injustices I would face.
Every day, women like me go to the doctor for annual checkups for conditions like breast cancer. Early detection saved my life. But women with disabilities face a cruel reality: inaccessible medical facilities and equipment.
In the 25 years since my injury, I have not seen a gynecologist. There's not one accessible OBGYN in my community.
I found lumps in my breast. I went to a doctor's office I was told was accessible, but when I got there, I couldn't get through the front door.
I don't know where I'd be today without access to testing. Our veterans deserve better. Help PVA fight for access at pva.org.
If words were enough, I would help you bear your burden. I would watch each child of yours grow strong and true. Teach them to read and to write and to sing, so that their voices be forgotten nevermore. If words were enough, I would sate your hunger, and you would know you are my sister, my brother, my child. If words were enough.
It's so hard to predict a sick kid who just keep getting sicker, but we needed to be together as a family. My family is my entire life. My family means the world to me.
When we're together and we have support from Ronald McDonald House, we can be a little stronger.
They provide food and a place to rest your head, and they will help you through every step. That's what gets you through every day when you don't know how else you're gonna make it.
It makes you feel like you're not alone.
The Bowie Police Department will be relocating 3 of the city's speed cameras. This is a part of the Safe Speed Camera Program, an initiative to reduce speeding and monitor vehicle accidents. The cameras at Old Stage Road, Brunswick Lane, and Dolphin Way will be moved to the eastbound Northview Drive, northbound Northview Drive, and Mitchellville Road. Police want to remind residents that there is not a warning period for the cameras, and civil citations will be issued.
And Maryland's Attorney General is sounding the alarm on a disturbing scam targeting heartbroken pet owners. Scammers are posing as staff from local shelters like Barks and the Maryland SPCA, claiming they've found your lost pet, but say the animal's hurt and needs money for treatment right now. They spoof real shelter phone numbers and demand payment through apps like Zelle or Venmo, and one person was tricked into sending $2,600. Officials say don't send money, ask for proof, and always contact shelters directly. And if you're targeted, report it.
Well, Walmart announced last week that due to new tariffs posed by President Trump, customers would soon see changes in prices. The retail giant said back in February that it wasn't immune from the costs of President Trump's tariffs. Over the weekend, he fired back at Walmart, saying in a social media post, quote, between Walmart and China, they should eat the tariffs and not charge valued customers anything. A number of companies that sell products in Walmart, like Procter & Gamble, Stanley Black & Decker, and Mattel, have already raised their prices. And attention bulk shoppers, Costco has rolled out a new buy now, pay later plan for big online purchases through the fintech company Affirm. With new service approved, customers can pay over time eligible purchases that are $500 to $17,000 made on the warehouse retailer's website. Costco physical warehouses typically sell less than 4,000 different types of products, whereas its e-commerce site offers up to 10,000 products.
And Verizon Wireless is the latest company to announce the end of its DEI policies, mainly to get the FCC's blessing for its $20 billion Frontier deal. In the announcement approving the deal, the FCC specifically cited Verizon's commitment to ending DEI-related practices. Now, the FCC said that the deal will allow Verizon to upgrade its technology, providing internet access to 25 states, rural communities, and deploy fiber optic access to at least 1 million homes per year. And don't move after the break. It's time for our Tuesday Sports page.
That's right, and today Simon Buggs has some updates from the world of college basketball.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
Bro, you gotta stop with that depression stuff.
Escúchame, en esta casa los hombres no lloran.
You all right?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
Thanks for hearing me out, bro. Appreciate it.
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
It's cancer.
opponent is completely disregarding almost half of my arguments which I responded to.
Communities must step up
Laws
and
alone
protest
cannot
against this
stop a
normalization.
bullet.
Well, I completely disagree.
Point of inquiry, do you guys even realize that the #1 killer of children and teens are gun injuries?
You're probably starting to realize now, this is not a debate.
There is no adult in this earth that wants children to die.
I worry for my kids.
What's going on, everyone? The time has come for your Tuesday sports page. We begin with some news from the gridiron as Ravens running back Derrick Henry recently signed a contract extension with the team. The 5-time Pro Bowler definitely did enough to earn more than the $7 million he's due to make this upcoming season. In 2024, Henry's first season with Baltimore, the 31-year-old rushed for 1,921 yards, 16 touchdowns, and was named a second-team All-Pro. Henry signed a 2-year extension which has him with the Ravens through the 2027 season. And the Florida native expressed how appreciative he is that the Ravens front office believes in him.
I'm just very grateful for this organization. You know, just like last year, coming off the season I had, you know, I wasn't really happy, and you know, I wanted to prove myself and just get an opportunity, and they gave me that opportunity, and you know, I'm very appreciative of how much, you know, they value me to give me an extension, and you know, I just want to show them how much it means to me, and how much this organization means to me by the way I work and what I do on the field.
Meanwhile, it's official Terps fans. Guard Darius Adams has signed with the Maryland men's basketball team. Adams comes to College Park as the 4th highest ranked recruit in program history. The New Jersey native spent the last 2 years of his high school career at La Lumiere in Indiana. And this past season, he also played for the Nike EYBL Scholastic Circuit with the PSA Cardinals. The McDonald's All-American also held offers from UConn, Tennessee, Alabama, and Georgetown. Man, it's going to be exciting to see what Adams does in a Terps jersey. In softball news, the Eleanor Roosevelt High School team will be in action tonight against Churchill in the semifinal round of the state playoffs. The game begins at 7 o'clock. Good luck, ladies. And the Baltimore Orioles suffered another loss yesterday, this time to the Milwaukee Brewers, 5-4. The two teams will return to action tonight at 7:40. And finally, the Washington Nationals will host the Atlanta Braves tonight. The two teams will take the diamond at 6:45. And that is your Tuesday sports page. Simon Buggs, CTV Sports.
All right, thanks, Simon. Now let's get a look at our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight we have a chance of rain going into the morning. Tomorrow it'll be 61 degrees and we have a 100% chance of rain and possible thunderstorms between 2 and 5 p.m. Thursday, more rain is on the way. We'll have a high of 66 and a low of 52. Friday, we get a bit of sunshine with a high of 67 and showers are expected after 2 p.m.
And for our community calendar this Thursday, the Norman F. Holmes Foundation is hosting a finance and technology forum at the Country Club at Woodmore. This dynamic event is designed to elevate, inform, and empower the business ecosystem across Prince George's County and beyond. This event takes place from 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. But for more information on the Norman F. Holmes Foundation, contact the email right there on your screen.
And that wraps up CTV News for now. Thank you for joining us.
We'll see you again tomorrow. Have a good night.
Standing for the cause of liberty is as old as our country itself.
It is the American story, a story of fallible people, united across the generations by grand and enduring ideals.
The time has come to reaffirm our enduring spirit, to carry forward that promise that all are equal and all deserve a chance to pursue their full measure of happiness.